You ever walk into a place and just know right from the jumpy about to be told who you are, like before you even get a chance to open your mouth? Yeah, that's how my morning in Vienna started. And let me tell you, if you've never felt your whole identity summed up by a stranger in a silk scarf with a fake smile, count yourself lucky, because that kind of welcome isn't about service. It's about putting you in your place. And the crazy part is, half the room doesn't even notice. They never do. So picture this. I'm standing in the grand marble lobby of the Hotel Sacher, Vienna, sunlight hitting gold trim, everybody pretending to be busy with their espresso, when the receptionist just lets it rip. You people are here to clean, not to check in. Didn't even whisper it. Not a flicker of shame, just stone-cold certainty, you know what I mean? She actually told me. Housekeeping uses the back entrance like I'd gotten lost, like my name wasn't on the reservation, like my life's work was invisible. But let me back up a sec. My name's Naomi Pierce, and what the perfectly groomed folks in that lobby didn't know is that I'm the woman who built Phoenix Lux from scratch, yeah. That's right, the company that owns this place, the one whose name is on every payroll slip in the safe. 43 years old, Detroit-born, daughter of a janitor and a factory man. First in my family to go to college. Now CEO of a $2.3 billion hospitality group stretching from Charleston to Marrakesh, from Seoul to London, and, yes, right here in Vienna, where the Sacher Hotel, all chandeliers and old money, thought it could still get away with legacy bias wrapped up in velvet curtains. I came here under a reservation made, as in Johnson, no red carpet, no big entrance, just another business traveler flying in coach, hair in a bun, silver watch, wedding band, nothing flashy because I needed to see, not be seen. My gut told me the stories I'd heard guests of color followed, dismissed, I'd up and down were bigger than management wanted to admit. So I made it my mission to find out for myself. Now, when Rebecca Dalton, the receptionist, hit me with that line, "Are you sure you're not confused, ma'am?" I felt the old heat rising, not the anger you think, but the pain that comes from knowing it's not just you, that this stuff's been around for generations, that my mom used to clean places like this at night, that my dad never got his name on the promotion board, even after 18 years and never missing a day. I didn't show it, though. Just nodded, thanked Rebecca for her honesty. I was polite and stepped out into the cold air, phone in hand. One call to Kevin Ross, my COO. Lock down the staff list. I want everyone here. Nobody leaves until we're done. My voice was steady. My hands didn't shake. That's what happens when you've fought your whole life to prove you belong somewhere. 10 minutes later, I walked back through those big glass doors, not as the woman they tried to ignore, but as the woman who owned the building, who signed the checks, who had the power to decide whether their legacy would be something they remembered with pride or something they'd rather forget. Let's just say the room felt different. The air heavier. The staff stiff, watching me with wide eyes, and for the first time that day, Rebecca looked scared. I asked for the general manager straight, calm, nothing fancy. Henry Walsh showed up, suit pressed, face pale. "Is there a problem?" he said, trying to size me up. I didn't flinch. There's a situation, and it's about to get real formal, real fast. We moved to a private lounge, and I laid it all out, security footage of what just happened. Guest reports they'd brushed off, staff messages that made it clear this wasn't just a bad morning, it was a pattern. Here's where the twist comes in. Angela Martin, assistant manager, sitting quietly off to the side, gives me this look, the kind you only get from someone who knows what it's like to survive in rooms that weren't built for you. Turns out, she'd flagged these issues before nobody listened. Thomas Lee, the security guard, admitted he'd seen the bias, but didn't know how to call it out. So I did what leaders are supposed to do, took names, handed out suspensions, gave Angela the authority she deserved. I don't reward silence, I told her. I reward courage. And yeah, Rebecca and Henry, out. Effective immediately. But this wasn't just about one morning or one front desk screw-up. This was about the kind of culture that lets folks like Michael Rivers, front desk manager, look away when the numbers say 71% of early check-in denials go to black guests. That's not a coincidence. That's what happens when people get comfortable thinking luxury is for a certain type and everyone else gets shown the back door. Michael tried to plead ignorance, said he was just maintaining standards. Standards? I asked. Your warning signs always seem to come with melanin. He was done. No more hiding behind old rules. In the middle of all that, something surprising happened. Rebecca, the receptionist, wrote me a handwritten apology for pages long. Not a defense, not a legal threat, just the words of someone who finally looked in the mirror and saw what she'd become. I didn't write her back. Sometimes the lesson is the answer. But I kept the letter as a reminder that people can change not because you force them, but because you finally show them the truth. Meanwhile, Angela went to work, really went to work. She ran meetings, retrained the staff, turned the hotel into a place where respect wasn't just a buzzword. It was the air they breathed. Some folks left. Others finally raised their heads. One long-time housekeeper told Angela, "I used to think I'd retire here invisible. You changed that. You want to talk about power? That's it right there." Of course, not everyone liked it. Some regulars complained, called it diversity drama, tried to flex their old status like Diane Green, the VIP guest who'd tipped big for years and thought that bought her immunity. Kevin, my right hand, escorted her out, refunded her stay. No apologies. That line between tolerated and never again had been drawn for good. First big test after that, a well-known black, queer travel blogger showed up for a last-minute stay. I didn't say a word to the staff. Angela's training held up, was treated like any guest, offered coffee, walked to the elevator, no fuss. His review? They didn't know who I was. They just treated me like I mattered. That's hospitality. That's the future. That's the story I wanted this place to tell. 6 weeks later, I called an all-staff meeting. No suits, no titles, just truth. I told them, I didn't come here to be welcomed. I came here to see the truth. What I saw first was rot, but what I saw next was all of you people surviving, people who knew what was wrong but didn't feel safe enough to speak. Leadership isn't about position, it's about courage. And what I've seen here is real courage. Then I handed the reins to Angela, told the team she'd lead them forward, not to erase their history, but to build something that lasts. That last walk through the hotel, every hallway, every hidden corner felt different. Not because the chandeliers sparkled brighter or the marble got whiter, but because the people walked taller. Dignity has a weight you can't fake. As I left, a new front desk agent asked me how I stayed calm that day. I told her, power doesn't scream. It just corrects quietly, permanently. And I stepped out into the Vienna morning, golden and full of promise. Back home in New York, I got a file about a hotel in Florence facing the same old issues. One note in the margin, send Angela. That's how change keeps moving. Not from headlines or speeches, but from giving the right people the power to do what's right every single day. If this story hit you somewhere deep, drop a comment. Tell me, where do you stand on what's right, what's fair, what we owe each other when nobody's watching. Hit like, subscribe, and share if you want more stories that don't just talk about change, they make it real.